With that, we are thrilled to welcome in Lake Lewis Jr. He covers the Commanders, and he's here to give us some insight on this Sunday's game. Lake, how you doing today?
I'm good, fellas. I appreciate you having me on. I'm actually out here at practice right before we start, so you got to excuse the swatting of the bugs, but it's a lot of gnats out here.
Yeah. Hey, Lake, I have a good friend who's a Washington fan, and the guy's been miserable basically for 20 years. I mean, the franchise has been so awful, and now he's losing his mind for Jayden Daniels. I mean, the fans of the Washington Commanders, they got to be going crazy. Similar to us, they've seen a lot of terrible quarterback play for many years.
Yeah, I mean, and you're exactly correct. I mean, I keep trying to tell people, I think this is the first franchise quarterback that this franchise has had in modern football.
Yeah.
They've had some pretty good quarterbacks. Joe Theismann did win an MVP one year, won a Super Bowl. Mark Rippon won a Super Bowl. Doug Williams, who's beloved here, won a Super Bowl. But none of those guys were franchise quarterbacks. And I think this is the first time Washington's seeing it. So I think fans are still getting used to, not feeling like their eyes are deceiving them or if it's a mirage, but it's real.
Lake, when I look at the secondary for the Commanders, to me, it's not a lot of guys that, pop out. How have you think that secondary has done this year, and what do you think they do against the Browns?
That's a good point. The secondary has been, one of the units that's slow to come around. They did play really well against Arizona, kind of held Kyler Murray in check, especially in the second half. But I think a lot of that is also because they weren't getting a pass rush in the first, two games. Even in the third game, it wasn't necessarily there. But then they started to do it against Arizona. And I think when you see that in any NFL team, when you get a pass rush and you make a quarterback uncomfortable, you'll see the athletes in the back end of your defense be able to make plays on the ball and look better than maybe what their skill set has been showing over the first three games. So I think that's what we saw last week against the Cardinals.
By the way, leave it to the cornerback. Like, we're talking about this great young quarterback.
This guy goes
and leave it to the cornerback to switch gears to the corner.
He just skipped
wait a minute.
all the way over the top.
What is this? This is a passing league, isn't it?
No, not no more.
Yes, it is.
It will be again. It will be again.
But Lake, I'm gonna take it back to the quarterback. We just had a segment talking about Jayden Daniels, and I told him, listen, the Browns defense has been traditionally good this year. They've fallen off a little bit. If they do not keep contained, if they do not stay in their rush lanes, this kid I know it's Lamar Jackson, but when it comes to his legs and ability to extend plays and still keep his eyes downfield and hit guys, he's right up underneath him right there. What does he offer, and what is the threat that he brings to the table with just his ability to run and still be able to throw the ball as well?
But I think it's a great point as well. You look at the fact that you guys have history with Lamar, and so Jayden's going to be very similar as far as running ability. But the thing that separates him, I think, even from Lamar, especially at this point in his career, is that he's an efficient and excellent pocket passer, and I think the narrative of him being a running quarterback is false. He's a pocket passing quarterback that has an electrifying run style as well. And it might be something that we've never really witnessed across the league. I mean, we've seen guys either have one or the other. So I think for Cleveland, you're going to need Myles Garrett. You're going to need everybody to be all hands on deck as far as putting pressure on this guy. The problem is that if you do collapse the pocket, he has the ability to escape and make plays with his legs. But more importantly, guys, now he's trusting his receivers. Now he's trusting, Terry McLaurin to big plays for them. And then, of course, Zach Ertz underneath could kind of alleviate the pressure that I'm sure Cleveland's going to be trying to dial up.
Let's talk about the backfield here, because I know Brian Robinson has gotten off to a good start, but I know he's banged up. I think he missed practice. Correct me if I'm wrong. Austin Eckler got the concussion against the Bengals. And then completely out of left field, Jeremy McNichols, welcome back to the NFL. He played pretty well last week. So what's the status of Washington's backfield right now?
I think they're going to be okay. They're a little banged up because they've been getting the ball quite a bit. When you're third in the NFL in rushing yards, that tells you that there's a consistent effort to rush the ball, and I think that takes pressure off your rookie quarterback. So I think they're going to be fine. Listen, man, these guys have been away from home for 2 weeks. They're going to be coming back to a raucous new Northwest Stadium. these fans here are rabid. There's no way that these guys don't play on Sunday.
Right.
Like, when you look at the Browns, what bothers you? What scares you for Sunday when you think about the Commanders playing the Broncos?
You know, listen, Cleveland was a team that I said in the offseason was my dark horse team to watch out for in the AFC. And everyone was talking about Baltimore and the Texans, could they compete with Kansas City? And I'm like, listen, there's a team up there in Ohio that I think is actually going to be pretty good. And I thought Deshaun Watson would have a bounce back year. So what scares me about Cleveland is they haven't played their best football. They just haven't. I mean, they looked terrible against Dallas in week 1. They followed that up with a win. And then last week didn't look good at all. So it's like, which team shows up. And sometimes, as you guys know, when you get away, when you get on the road, sometimes your mind just, is kind of free in order to just not have to deal with, family and home, being at home. Just being uncomfortable kind of makes you focus a little bit more. So I expect Cleveland to come in here and play an A game. But I would say more importantly, it's no surprise that Washington has been poor against the run, and all of a sudden Nick Chubb is out there just practicing this week. So I don't think that was by a lack of coincidence. Of course it was. Does he play? That's a whole nother story. But I do think that when you think of your running backs, Jerome Ford and guys, I mean, they can run the football, and I think they're going to have to, because if they try to come in here and make this a shootout, they will lose the football game. I don't have a problem saying that. They're not going to stop Washington's offense. Washington's offense will put up some points. That's just the way they're trending now. So for Cleveland, I think they have to make a concerted effort to run the ball, and they're capable of doing that. And Washington has shown that sometimes they struggle against the run. So that would be the one factor I'm concerned about.
Lake, we appreciate the time, man. Good luck this weekend. Not too much luck, but we appreciate you taking the time to join us. Thanks, man.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Sorry, apologize about the bugs out here.
All good.
Get it. Thanks. That could be